it is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, at Phil Williams HQ, at Sean Hannity is a true conservative that wants to make America great again. Stop hating on him like you're doing Trump. At Phil Williams HQ, at Sean Hannity is a true conservative that wants to make America great again. Stop hating on him like you are Trump. Wow. Amazing. This is my response to this tweet. First, it's not hating. I felt betrayed at first. Why? Because I have given 20 years of my life, my family, to listening to people like Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh and the Herman Cains and all these other talking heads that's standing for conservative principles. I've listened to Sean Hannity tout Reagan and get me to understand the bold color, the bold lines we need to draw and the bold color differences that Reagan stood for. And all these things. I'm listening to Sean Hannity and I'm giving him my trust. I'm listening to Fox News. They say they're fair and balanced. They got people on Fox News like Juan Williams and Geraldo. And you know these people are left. They had Bob Bennett. You know that he was left and things like this. And then all the left people. Then you had the libertarians. Then you had the economic Republicans, the Eric Bollings and all these kind of guys. And so Fox News amassed a whole bunch of conservatives to get us to trust in their point of view and their perspective to give us what it takes to be a conservative, to win against liberals and things of this nature. And so I felt betrayed. I'm sure you feel betrayed. But then as I started to think about it wasn't that. See, first of all, if Sean Hannity and all these so-called conservative talk show hosts can go over to somebody that's not a conservative like Donald Trump and try to make him be a conservative with all the aspects of Donald Trump that is not nowhere conservative, if they can switch so fast, listen people, they were never conservatives in the first place. So the only way I can feel betrayed, the only way you should feel betrayed is because you thought that they were conservatives and you brought them into your family, you got into their family, and they betrayed you when they switched. But what I'm seeing is that they were never conservatives in the first place. So instead of us being betrayed, we were just played. They played us. Conservative media played us. Sean Hannity played us. They said all the talking points, they said all the things to get us to trust them because of all those liberal media outlets that were out at the time of their conception. And so we were looking for a place where we can hear conservative values. So they've been playing us for ratings and money all this time. The issue is that they jumped the gun too fast. Since they were all money-hungry people, and they're always going after ratings, Donald Trump was the perfect person for them. They've never had a Donald Trump opportunity in their whole plain conservative lives. And so they're propping up their cash cow. Donald Trump is their money maker. He keeps eyeballs on the network. And so in order for us to understand the importance of this election, they had to do everything they could with all the capital that they've garnered from us, being fair and balanced and the most trusted news network and all these kind of cool little things. They had to convince us that Donald Trump is a conservative. They had to protect Donald Trump from himself, at the same time trying to protect their credibility. But the reason why they're losing credibility, because that's an incredible gorge to jump to try to turn a Donald Trump into a conservative. Do you see all the redefining that Sean Hannity has had to do over these last 8 months to convince us that Donald Trump is the best conservative for the job? There's nothing about conservatism that Donald Trump has. Now, our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights. Where has Donald Trump ever talked about the Constitution in an encouraging way? He's only said the word Constitution when he wants to prove that somebody is not constitutionally eligible to run. Where has one conservative moral and value ever been demonstrated with Donald Trump? He'll cuss somebody out. He'll make fun of handicapped people. He has no compassion about a person's race or anything. He calls them the blacks, the Mexicans, not African Americans or Hispanic citizens. He uses his bigoted, narcissistic thought process, and that's how he addresses people. The blacks love me. The Mexicans love me. They get along great with me. I get along great with the Mexicans. A bigot narcissist. Where's conservatism in there? I listened to that sellout Herman Cain. Can't give one policy position that is specific that Donald Trump stands for. But I'm sitting there watching Herman Cain sell Ben Carson down the river, sell everybody, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, sell them all down the river, while he says, my pick six, shucky ducky, my pick six. Man, I had him in my pick six. What about my pick six? Yeah, three of my pick sixes is still here. My pick six. What about your pick six? Who is you? I'm the only one that's been a presidential candidate, but you quit. You left us hanging. And now you're doubling down by leaving us hanging going for Trump. Shucky ducky. What about your pick six? You did what it took so that this is one of the failures, of my opinion, of the Ben Carson campaign. They picked a sellout to come and introduce somebody that can help us. They asked me to introduce them. And all you was talking about yourself. You didn't defend them. You didn't do anything. But that's okay. It wasn't your job to defend them. But you're offending us. Guess what? You was never a conservative in the first place. If you could flip-flop to a non-conservative and try to make him a conservative, you was never a conservative. So I don't feel betrayed by you. I feel played. You garnered our trust. This is what all these conservative media types that's going for Donald Trump has done. They've garnered our trust. And now they're showing how they've been playing us. I'm listening to Monica Crowley. You would think that she was one of those people that Donald Trump gave Miss America to or something. I'm listening to Laura Ingraham go try to say he's more Reagan than Marco Rubio. Have you lost your mind? There is no Reagan nowhere in Donald Trump. Reagan was the one that ushered in the Big Tent. Donald Trump has been clearing out the Big Tent. Nobody is safe with this dude. There is no compassion, especially if he's put into a losing situation. When Reagan started losing something, he inspired people, and we can win this thing together. Donald Trump is not doing that. Right now, he's trying to convince you that he's a chameleon and he can change and he can switch. And his number one cheerleader, and you remember when Sean Hannity was always talking about Chris Matthews with Barack Obama to thrill up his leg? Sean, what are you? You're Chris Matthews on steroids, dude, when it comes to Donald Trump. How are you going to... This is the funny thing. Look at Sean. He's out there talking about Marco Rubio. He's going beneath himself and talking about Trump like this. This is something that happened 5 days ago. Donald Trump has been being a juvenile, asinine candidate for the last 8 months. And you call that presidential. But when somebody finally smacks him with his own little thing, then you go, oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. No, Sean, what's not fair is what you've done to us, but that's okay. Because all we know now is that you've been playing us. And as of this day, Phil Williams, and it's going to protect the American people and make sure they never get played by another person like you or the rest of these Trumpettes again. I'm Phil Williams. That's my response to your tweet on The Phil Williams Show.